Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So my wife managed to break the seat on her Jeep. So this is a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And if she could do this, I'm sure probably this has happened to other people too, so I thought I'd make a video. Step one is to wash your vehicle, which I'm not doing because I don't have time. So this is what you get for living on a gravel road. But what happened was I don't know, this was a couple months ago actually. I think the story was that it was cold out. She jumped in and she had her purse hanging off her shoulder, and she shut the door and her purse got slammed in between the seat and the door, and then as a result it punched this the seat control inside inside the plastic there. So if you can see that. But basically that thing is just sliding around inside. So I got the part that I think is the right part, hopefully is the right part. I haven't taken it out yet because I want to get the old one out, check it before I take this out of the bag so I can't return it. But so what I've got to do is figure out how to get this plastic panel off of here. Thought I'd make a video because I'm sure if my wife did this, she's not the only one. Other people probably had to run into this before too. So this feels like it's kind of clipped on here. I don't see any screws or anything. I think I'm gonna see if I can get this. I kind of started prying around on this thing a little bit already, but I think this cover here goes around the seat belt. It has to come off. Carefully and gently. These plastic parts are really expensive to replace if you break anything. Oh, got it. Okay, so I'm not sure if that's what we needed to do, but I think it is. So this thing here that covers the seat belt, it's got these little T-shaped push pins on the top, and those go, there's two of those on the top there. So if you take a screwdriver and you're real careful, you can get under there and kind of pry those up, and that panel just gets out of the way. So I am exactly sure if that's what we needed to do, but we can take the seatbelt off now if we wanted to. Okay, so I think we're heading in the right direction here. So underneath this cover, there's a torque screw in here. I don't know if you can see this very well, right there. And I don't know, because I think this is a T20. I don't have my reading glasses out here, and my old eyes are going to crap. Yeah, is that 20? I think that's a T20. Sorry, can't tell for sure. So we're going to take that screw off. See what that gains us. Careful not to drop it down into the bowels of the seat. All right, now what'd that do? Got that one little piece loose. So I kind of feel like this thing is, probably have to put the camera down here and look underneath and do some investigating, but I feel like this thing needs to either slide forward or back. I think it's on some kind of like a slide clip, but let me see if I can figure this thing out and I'll come back to you. All right, so back here in the rear of the seat, this fabric kind of pulls back a little bit, and you can actually pop this out. There's a little, I don't know if you can see that very well.
but there's a little, see inside there, there's a little pop pin that pops into this slot here. So anyway, pull that back, and now I've gotten that back loose.
All right, so we're definitely more loose than it was before. Still think this thing needs to slide forward somehow, but I may have another one of those little pop pin things somewhere that I've got to find. So let me dig and see if I can find another one of those. Okay, I'm making progress. I figured out that right here, so here's obviously the hole where the seatbelt goes in. There's another plastic clip here. There's kind of an inner plastic piece here, an inner trim piece. It looks like it stays with the seat. And that separates from this outer trim piece. So I've popped that loose. Oh, look at that. So once you get that pop loose, then it looks like this whole side panel, get your seatbelt down out of the way. Looks like the whole side panel is just going to slide forward. Come off of here. Okay, I'm gonna have to use two hands, but I'll be right back to you. All right, so that is exactly how that works. It slides. So you see these fingers here. There are plastic pieces there, and then there. Those go and overlap those fingers, there and there. And so, oh, and there's another one on the bottom. So there's three of these metal fingers that have little plastic guides in them, I guess. So this whole piece, it takes some finagling, but this whole piece slides back on there, and then that push pin in the back, and then this clip, and then that one Torx screw. Let's see if I can show you. So in the back, uh-oh, the part's falling off. Here's so here's that push pin that I was telling you that was actually up in this slot here. So this turns this way. This kind of goes underneath the fabric there, but that little push pin goes into that slot. That's the first thing that I pop loose. And now I see there's actually there's clips here that maybe you can just take it off that way, but I just kind of keep working it forward. So anyway, I've got this far enough now that I have access to, here's actually the one that, yep. I just want to make sure that it's not the trim piece itself that's broke. It's not. Take that off of there. All right, so here's, and you can see what broke. So this thing is, so it has these really pretty chintzy little plastic tabs that hold this in that plastic side cover. And when the purse got smashed up against it, it just popped those tabs right off the bottom, sheared them right off of there. So just doing kind of a quick match up here. Again, trying not to take this out of the bag yet. See if I can see some numbers on this thing. 3131. 560494. Yeah, there you go. So this part number, it's the part number on here. It says, oh man, I need my reading glasses. It says pretty sure this says 560484. I'll look at this new one. Yeah, here's the new one. 560494 is what it says. Looks like the same thing. Black instead of gray, but Ooh. That's interesting. So 560,494. 560,494. So those have the same number on them, but this is what's interesting. So this is the original one. As you can see, it's got 4 pins in there. This is the new one. Look at that. This one has 10 pins. So I don't know if that's going to work or not. I guess I'll plug it in and see. Hopefully it does. I'm just trying to orient this thing the right way. All right, so bad news on the switch. I'm not quite sure why these part numbers appear to match. My battery just went dead in my light, and there it goes. But I thought maybe this new one, you know, maybe it was more universal or something with those extra pins, but it is not fitting. And I don't know how well you can see here, but the fitting itself at first I thought was right, but it's not going in. And the reason it's not going in is because right here there's 2 grooves, and over here actually there's 2 grooves on this one too, but they're spaced differently. So these connectors are definitely different pins, and different the connector itself is different. So darn, I'm gonna have to get online and do some research here and figure out why those are different, figure out why although they appear to have the same part number, they do not fit. So I'm going to do some research, and I will get back to you. All right, guys, so fast forward a couple of weeks. I got the correct part, so hopefully this one's going to work. I always have a hard time figuring out what the right part number is. There's no way I'm going to probably be able to show this to you on video, but so on this particular piece, there's 2 numbers here, and it's actually this bottom number is the one that I needed. So 560,494 31AF, and I would just recommend that if you have to replace a little electrical part like this, definitely remove the one from your car, from the vehicle, and get the number off it. Don't just try to do it based on a search with vehicle type and everything, because that's what I did the first time, and I ended up with the wrong part. So, and I'll show you too. So, these are these tiny little plastic clips. These are what holds that in there, and there's nothing to these things, and that's what you can see them on there. That's what got snapped off when her purse got slammed in between the door and the seat. So pretty thin stuff. I actually thought about this, wondered if I might possibly be able to plastic weld that back together, but there's no way. It's just too thin. So anyway, go ahead and replace it and get this car put back together. All right, good deal. Shave those clips right off of there. Now I just need to fish this switch in, and it should pop right in.
we go. All right, now this thing is kind of a puzzle to get back in here, but I mentioned before, it looks like there's actually, looks like I need to bring it forward, and there's these little guys here, so I have to bring the plastic forward, and then it comes back and slides and hooks over the top of these metal fingers. There's one on the top, one on the bottom, so see how easy that is to do. Actually, there's 3 of them. There's 2 on top and 1 on the bottom. So now this cap looks like it just goes in here. It's just got some basic clips, so this just goes in here. And it looks like you slide it down, clip in the top, and then push in the sides. But I think this will be easier if I bring the seat forward. Oh, actually, oh, that's where my screw goes in. Don't put the cover on yet. That's where my screw goes. It's been a little while since I did this. I couldn't remember how I took it apart. All right, I think that was my only screw. I think everything else is just basically clipped together. I had to go back. I loosened this screw back up. In this back part here, there's another clip that's buried up inside here that you have to kind of lift this up and snap it over there. So I loosened that screw back up so I could get the back of this plastic cover snapped in back here. So now we'll come back and I think pop this down.
I didn't realize it at the time, but unfortunately the battery died on my microphone. So I'll just do a little bit of voiceover here to finish this up. But basically I'm just showing this last plastic piece that goes in the back of the seat. And you can see where it's got that little metal, kind of a little push pin that goes into the slot in the back of the seat. So all you need to do is there's plastic clips on the left side that will clip into the plastic side guard, the metal piece clips into that slot, and then it slips underneath the fabric like that. And that fabric is actually, it's got some Velcro on the bottom of it. So I think you'll see that I'll actually loosen that up, pull it back a little bit, and then once you get everything secured, then you can reattach the Velcro. At this point, the plastic clips are just being a little bit stubborn when trying to get this last piece connected to the side panel. So I'll just grab a screwdriver to help me guide the plastic clips of the 2 pieces together. And I did that, I think, on the top and the bottom, and was able to get them popped in. And then once that was in, pretty simple at that point to get the that metal push pin pushed into the slot. And then once that's in, it's just a matter of figuring out where the Velcro tabs are on the back of this fabric piece, getting those lined up, getting it pulled tight, and That's it. It's complete.
Hey, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next video.